Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to day 25 of the MBD Month of Mindset Challenge. Today is RAK, or RAK, or Random Act of Kindness. This one does differ a little bit from the favour day. The favour day is usually something that we would do specifically for a friend who needs a bit of help with something specific, whereas a random act of kindness is more doing something on the spur of the moment. I don't know if you're familiar with my Life a Day program. My Life a Day program is where I give an hour of my time on average every day to 365 people a year. It actually came off the back of trying to do more random acts of kindness. 2 years ago, so 2018, when I first started it, the first month or so was just random acts of kindness. It was like, that person over there needs a coffee, that person behind me pay for their stuff as I'm on the way out, that kind of thing. But it became one of those things that to do 365 of those a year, I wanted it to be a bit more specific. So the Life a Day program came off the back of that. But how that really spanned is that the idea of random acts of kindness very much feeds into how I personally see karma. A lot of people look at karma and they think of it as you do things good for other people do things good back for you. And quite frankly, if anyone's tried to live by that model, doesn't really work, does it? It's not like you do something nice for your brother and then your brother does something nice back for you. You do something nice for the guy down the road and they return the favour or anything like that. How it usually turns out is in ways that we don't really see the actual direct return on the good things that we do. Yeah, sure, we might get compliments on it, but what it's all about is actually just putting things out for the sake of their own good. And the analogy I like to use about it is like throwing stones in a pond, okay? And as I throw stones in a pond, I throw a stone in someone else's pond to help them do something, to buy that coffee or to send out that book or the one I'm offering on Instagram and Facebook. And you know what, YouTube, let's give an extra one. The one I'm offering right now is for the first person to respond to this and say they want it, is I do, using this lovely thing over here and all this computer software, I do Zoom webinars on mental health, stress, anxiety, depression, habit change, whatever it might be. And on Instagram and on Facebook, I'm offering out one free one of those for anyone who has a company or anyone who has a school or anything like that need this type of work, this type of thing doing. One each on one of those. And you know what, because this is going on YouTube too, if you're seeing this on YouTube and you actually look at the comments and see that no one's commented and you're looking at this in this, it's April 2020 right now, but if you look at this in April or May or July 2025 and no one's commenting saying they want it, get in there, just comment. In fact, if you're watching this 6 days from now on Instagram or Facebook, because let's face it, after 6 days it's not being watched, is it? And no one's commented yet, get in there and say you want that. There's no kind of statute of limitations on this, but I'm offering out those three things there. So then I say it's now free, and there's three of them, so one each for each of the three platforms. And the reason for doing that is I believe in actually paying it forward. It's a huge part of what I like to do. I like to do free things for other people, and I often, if they say, "Oh, I can pay you back for that," I'll be like, "Don't bother, don't pay me back. Pay it forward. Do something nice for somebody else. I don't need anything personally right now." And there are other people around you that do. And the beautiful thing about that is this analogy of throwing a stone in the water. I throw a stone in that person's pond, right? The ripples radiate out from that pond and then they reach, 4, 5, 10 other people within that pond. If you do something nice for somebody else, they go on to just treat everybody else in their day that little bit nicer, which actually then might be a nice interaction for that person that makes them go on and do something nice for somebody else, and it keeps on going forward. And whether or not karma does exist as a law of the universe, I'm not here to sit and debate all that. What I'm here to say is that if we put more kind of random acts of horribleness out into the world, then that horribleness, it's not just the people that we directly impact with it, it's the collateral damage that comes afterwards. With random act of kindness, if we put more of those out, we get this collateral beauty. We get this spread where the person that we do the thing for might go on to do something nice to someone else. They might not. The whole interaction might just stop there, but it has the potential and the possibility to go so much further. So that's why this is in here. And there's no such thing as a selfless act, right? So doing something else for someone else, as we talked about on the favour day, it's going to make you feel good too. That's the reason I have the pay it forward in the A Life a Day project. If someone has an hour of my time, I don't demand, it's up to them whether they do it or not, but I request that they pay it forward. They do something nice for free for somebody else. And it's there for two reasons. One, it's there for the person that you're doing the thing for. But two, it's also for yourself. I'm 800 or so of those calls into the project now. Like 2.5 years of doing it. I still value every single one of them that comes in, because at the end of every single one of those calls, I still get the warm and fuzzies. I still get to put that phone down and go, you know what? I've made a difference in that person's life today. And I then, cross my fingers. Written on that board behind me, actually, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but it says, I will not stop until I've changed the lives of thousands. Right? That is not just direct, actually I do personally want to directly impact thousands. But when I first wrote that, which was about 3 years ago, I honestly thought that I'd impact a few hundred or maybe 1,000, and those 1,000 would the impact, this collateral beauty would go on to them. And one of my mentors once said that he actually wanted to impact 1 million people. And I remember this was 3 years ago, thinking, oof, that's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? But you know what? If we apply these principles, we are all influencers in someone's life to some level. And if we apply this, we can influence those things towards positivity, towards more positive energy in the world, towards more kindness, by putting some kindness in that pond, like throwing a stone of kindness into that pond and letting those ripples spread out. So that's it. I'm actually feeling really good about this one today. I can't wait to hear what you get up to. And if right now is not the right time for it, while we're in lockdown, and you think that afterwards is going to be better, just keep this one in the back pocket and use it then. Or maybe, do something that you can do in the current situation. I'll catch you all tomorrow. It's been a pleasure as always, and I'll see you soon.